This is where I'd usually try and do something a little bit amusing, but today, first of all, before we get into the show, I'd just like to wish Ryan Mason the speediest of recoveries. As far as I've heard, he is walking and talking again, which is great news. Hopefully he can still carry on his football career. So, speediest recoveries once again to Ryan Mason. What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today in association with FPL Updates. That's right, if you weren't around here last week, now FPL Today is associated with the great website FPL Updates. You can go check my video out on their channel and leave any questions you have for me in their comments down below. So go over to their website and let them know what a great January signing FPL Today and JNO United is. As for the FPL question of the game week, I get a feeling a lot of people relied on their defence for points this last game week. So let me know in the comments down below how many points your goalkeeper and defenders got. Myself, I managed to get 59 points in a game week which had an average of 46, which is lower than last game week. The highest score of the game week was 116. My total points now stands at 1,256, giving me a game week rank of 701,073, which is lower than last week's ranking, which was great, but my overall ranking has improved to 17,834. Only mistake I made in the game week, I should have played Kyle Walker in defence, played 4 at the back. Adam Smith, McCauley and Alonso all got me points. Kyle Walker would have been another one of my big scorers because only really Sanchez, as far as my attacking players, managed to get any points. As for the classic and head-to-head leagues, it was green all across the board. Let me know if it was a green or red week for you guys in the comments down below. If we take a look at the dream team, it would have got you 137 points. And the players I want to talk about, goalkeepers weren't big point scorers this game week. Foster coming in with 7 points as the top scoring goalkeeper, but 5 defenders made the team of the week, proving that ignoring your defence can hurt you some game weeks. Cedric looks the standout option from the defenders in the dream team, as Cahill is in a Chelsea defence with a lot of what I consider better options. Coleman has Baines to contend with for our FPL attentions, and if you have a West Brom defender, you don't need another one. As for midfield, the curse of FPL Versus striked again. If you don't watch FPL Versus, it's usually a day or two after FPL Today, and it is my show where I talk about 2 players, compare their stats, both underlying and in FPL, and decide which one you guys should be picking. Last week, the 2 dilemmas were Adam Lallana versus Roberto Firmino. I picked Adam Lallana. And then Christian Eriksen versus Dele Alli, and I picked Christian Eriksen. In fact, in the last 2 FPL Versus, I've made 4 predictions, and the only one I've managed to get right is Ibra is a better choice than Aguero. I've so jinxed that now as well, haven't I? So now there's a midfield conundrum. Earlier this season, I said maybe we should be doubling up on the Liverpool midfield. Now, should we be doubling up on the Tottenham midfield with Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen? Let me know your thoughts on that conundrum down below. Llorente and Carroll made the 2 strikers for the team of the week, and it's been asked for, so expect that in the up and coming FPL Versus. For the star of the week, I've not actually gone for one player, I've gone for the West Ham options that have now come to the forefront, with West Ham picking up 2 victories in a row, Manuel Lanzini getting 9 points, Mikel Antonio getting 5, and Andy Carroll getting 13, all coming in under 7 million. Lanzini and Carroll looking like steals if they can carry this form on. As far as my Fool of the Week, your second red card this season, Granit Xhaka, you are the Fool of the Week. Now we move on to the Hot List and we look at the goalkeepers here today, and Ben Foster has risen to the top of my Hot List above Tom Heaton and Lee Grant. The reason those 3 are there is because they're cheap and allow you to pick the big players but are still getting the points, and Ben Foster was a prediction earlier, and he's starting to come good with the last game week, managing to get 7 points. He comes in at 4.7 million and has got 1 clean sheet in the last 4 game weeks. He's conceded 6 goals, but we have to remember 4 of them came against Tottenham Hotspurs. Total saves, he's had 16 total saves, and his next fixtures look pretty promising as he comes up against Middlesbrough, Stoke, West Ham, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace and Everton. And it's because of those fixtures that my defender at the top of the Hot List is also from West Brom. but I promise you the midfielder isn't. I'm not doing another one of those episodes. We have Chris Brunt coming up top of the FPL Hot List above Marcus Alonso and Seamus Coleman. Chris Brunt coming in at 5 million is playing out of position at the moment and has got 2 goals from 4 attempts in the last 4 game weeks. On target, 2 of those shots have been on target, so he's scored with every shot he's had on target. And he's created 2 chances as well, and he has a very promising fixture list coming up, just the same as Ben Foster. We then move on to the midfield and we have Alexis Sanchez staying on top of the FPL Hot List above Dele Alli, who takes Christian Eriksen's place. And then I have Philippe Coutinho in there because it's Philippe Coutinho and his form previously was very, very good, so we're keeping an eye on him. Alexis Sanchez, as of the time of recording this, comes in at 11.9 million. That's probably wrong now. I get corrected on this so many times, but I do my research and recording and then release later, and usually the prices have changed by the time I release the video. But in the last 4 game weeks he has scored 3 goals, managed to get 23 attempts with 8 of them being on target. He's got 1 assist with 13 chances created, getting a goal involvement ratio of 36.4%. The fixture list is a bit mixed as he comes up against Watford before playing Chelsea, then it's Hull and Southampton before Liverpool, and then he finishes his 6 fixtures with Leicester. And then we move on to the forwards, and top of the list this time is Harry Kane, just beating Zlatan Ibrahimovic, with Andy Carroll coming in the 3rd spot. Harry Kane is coming in at 11.1 million. He's scored 5 goals in the last 4 game weeks with 15 attempts on goal, 10 of which were on target. Assists, he's managed to get 2 as well, creating 5 chances for his teammates, coming in with a goal involvement ratio of 58.3%. Now, my suggestion right now, after the last game week, is you need a Tottenham midfielder, a Tottenham defender, and a Tottenham striker, because they're getting clean sheets and they have the potential to score a lot of goals. So that wraps up the hot list for this week. Is there anyone you think I've missed? Leave in the comments down below who you think that is and why, and we can talk about it in the comments, have a bit of a chit chat. I think we've got to wait for the weekend to roll past before game week 23 starts, so we might as well have a bit of a conversation. As for game week 23 fixtures, I think it could be a differential week, which means a lot of the top scoring players may score lower than some of the people trying to chase them. You may not agree with all the fixtures I'm looking at this week, but I'm focusing on the ones where I think you could pick up points that other people won't. First being Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. Bournemouth like performing at home, and Crystal Palace seem out of sorts or going through a transition phase now that they've changed their manager. The key to this match is figuring out where the points are going to come from, because they seem to be shared around that Bournemouth side. We then also have Burnley versus Leicester, and Burnley are no pushovers at home and Leicester are underperforming. A lot of people have Heaton, but there will be points, I believe, elsewhere in that Burnley side. Andre Gray could be a huge differential this game week. Then we go on to West Ham versus Man City. Oh, how a team can turn around once you got rid of one bad apple. West Ham have had new life breathed into them since Payet has refused to play for them, and Man City are struggling to find any form of consistency. The stars of the week from earlier could be in the points this week as well. And the final game is Stoke versus Everton, and everyone's eyes are on Everton players at the moment, especially after that great win against Manchester City. But Stoke have players like Arnautovic who could steal the show. We now move on to the captain poll, and as of the time of recording this, Alexis Sanchez seems to be the most popular option for that captaincy armband yet again. He's beating Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Harry Kane, and all 3 of those are much further ahead of any other captaincy option. But my captain choice would be the guy in 3rd place, Harry Kane. Coming in at 11.1 million this season, he's scored 13 goals, but he did have a small injury period. He's got 3 assists. His attempts on goal is 53, shot accuracy is 50.9% with a goal conversion rate of 24.5%. He's created 26 chances for his teammates, and his goal involvement is 42.1% when he's on the pitch. As for the differential for the game week, I've already mentioned the Burnley game. Andre Gray, 6.2 million, only owned by 5.2% of players. In the last 4 game weeks, he's got 4 goals with a goal involvement ratio of 57.1%. He's had 10 attempts on goal, with 5 of them being on target, and he's playing Leicester and then next week after that Watford, before you might want to transfer him out for that Chelsea game, where Chelsea will probably keep another clean sheet. And for the red herring of the week, we're going with Fernando Llorente, coming in at 6.1 million. He's owned by 3.6% of players and was almost a differential of the week before I looked at his underlying stats. I was convinced he had good underlying stats, but when I actually looked it up, I was wrong. He's only scored 2 goals in the last 4 game weeks with a goal involvement ratio of 40%, but he's had 4 attempts on goal in 4 game weeks. That comes out as 1 a game week, and he's only got 2 of those on target. So after last week, he's probably not going to score this week. Wow, you've jinxed it again, haven't you, JNO? Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always. If there are any videos missing on this channel, it will be because I am moving flat. It's official. I'm paying for the first month's rent and a month and a half deposit. I will be moving a lot of my stuff, setting up in the new flat, so there may be a game week or 2 that I do end up missing doing any FPL videos on. I hope you can wait for me to come back in my new surroundings and continue providing you FPL content every week. I've been JNO, you guys have been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.